Now, this is one article that I have not seen mentioned on YouTube. I'm quite surprised. I'm surprised that no one had actually made a video about this right here. Now, maybe they did and I just didn't see it. But hate group preacher, treasurer, accused of embezzling $5.3 million. Now, before I get into this article, I just find it quite interesting that these are the same brothers that always bash preachers and the black church. They always bash preachers in the black church, call them pimps in the pulpit, talk about how they take the people's money, and not just them, but you have this so-called black conscious community that now is in an uproar because so many of their leaders or their teachers or their so-called scholars are now coming out as people that sham them. They took people's money. Now, I'm going to laugh at all of the church folk, the ex-church people that got on YouTube and made videos and say, I'm no longer a Christian because I no longer go to church because I no longer believe in the Bible because you allow these scammers to get inside your head. So they made you doubt the preacher. They made you doubt Christianity. They made you doubt the black church and got you to leave the church, leave your faith, and follow them. And now they're being accused of the same thing that they were accusing black preachers of doing. And I made a video in the past. If I find that video, I'm going to post it on the bottom here. And I talked about how you had a lot of these so-called black conscious groups and even the so-called Hebrew Israelite groups. They hate the fact that they can't be the black church. They hate the fact that the preachers, you have mega churches, and these preachers are driving nice cars. They're dressing nice. The people that's following them don't mind giving their money to the preachers, right? And of course, you do have wolves in sheep clothing. That's what they do. But this is a different type of wolf. It's still a wolf that's in sheep clothing, but they're a different type of wolf wearing different type of clothing. But at the end of the day, they are still a wolf in sheep clothing. So you got to always be careful of people that's always pointing fingers at other religious groups. There's a reason why they point their fingers at other religious groups. It's not enough for them to preach their own doctrine and recruit people according to their doctrine or stand upon their own doctrine. They have to bash and knock down somebody else to try to pull their members so that their members can do with them what they're doing with the black church. Now, this brother right here, Jermaine Grant is his government name, right? And I'm sure he's got a Hebrew Israelite name because they give themselves names and whatnot. They say, I can give myself a name. I have a right to give myself a name. But then when the white man, the devil, see, now they talk about the white man, the devil, and kill his kids and his wife and everything. But now the white man got him. He has no power now against the devil, the so-called white man. So why isn't he overthrowing the devil with your power? See, why haven't you resisted the devil? The Bible does say resist the devil and he will flee. So apparently you have no power. See, and it's proven now because now the white man got you. Jermaine Grant, also known as the chief high priest Tazadaqyah of the Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ. Now, I find it quite interesting that these are the same brothers that would tell you to come out the church, but yet they're using the same titles that the Christian church have. Church of God in Christ, Church of God in Jesus Christ, which is apostolic. That's more of the apostolic faith in Christianity. So they're using the apostolic title. They just throw Israel on the front of it, or Israelite on the front of it. Church of the Lord Jesus Christ. So they want to be the church. And they're jealous of the black church, of the preacher. They're jealous of the people that's giving their money to preachers, and they want that money. So what they do is they tell you that you're following the devil. You're following the white man's religion. You need to come out those churches. And they want you to come out the church, follow them, so that they can embezzle your money. Right? A Mercedes-Benz van, trips to Disneyland, and private school tuition were just some of the gifts Jermaine Grant lavished on his family. All ostensibly paid for by with the income from the entertainment company. You notice what they call this. They call it an entertainment company. They don't call it religion. They say it's all entertainment. So they're entertaining you, pulling you out of the church, telling you how you follow the white man's religion, telling you how you going to hell, telling you how you need to kill the white man and his kids, getting you all worked up, and they're collecting your dollars. Now, I've heard so-called Israelites and people that follow them talk about how the church or the preacher is living good, got a mansion, got a nice car, dressed well, and you got people in the hood that's still poor and impoverished. Well, isn't that what this dude is doing? Right? And I know I'm going to get hate comments from this, okay, because that's the nature of the beast. Because that's what it is. It's a beast. See, it's interesting when the shoe is on the other foot. See, you guys can talk about Christianity. You can talk about preachers. You can talk about, and you get people to follow you. You get people to leave the church. There's some that even get so bold to the point where the devil will go into the church and cause disruption in the church just to try to draw people out of the church to follow them so that they can take your money. It's all about the dollar, the almighty dollar. In reality, the U.S. Attorney's Office has alleged all were ill-gotten gains of a scheme by Grant, 43 years old, right? And Lincoln Warrington, 48, siphoned millions from the Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ. The New York-based religious organization is part of the Black Hebrew Israelite movement, which believes black people are among the lost tribes of Israel. Grant, now, it's funny because people will go out there and they will talk about these dudes when they're on the corner preaching and whatnot. And these dudes are dressed in their costumes. And I talked about the costumes in prior videos, right? And they laugh at these dudes. And at the same time they laugh at these dudes are getting fat off of your dollars. So they're laughing at you, laughing at them because of the way they dress. So they'll get you worked up. They'll talk about white people walking by, and then you have these weak-minded black people that standing on the side saying, wow, you do this to white people? Right? All right, brother. And you all need a poor pro-black, and that's what you do. And, you ain't really putting it down on the white people. And then you start giving your money. Right? And you still pouring in the ghetto. These dudes are wearing their costume, and they get to go home, drive their Mercedes, take their kids to Disney World. There's a lot of black people that's giving their money to these Hebrew Israelites that have never been to Disney World themselves. But they get to go. They get to take their families off of your dollars because they talked you into leaving the church. You were doing well in the church. You were content. And they came along with some knowledge, some satanic knowledge that pulled you. See, because they would mix the Bible, they would mix the truth with a lie. Right? And they will pull you from the church because now you see so many black males getting shot by police. And so they're going to use that to their advantage to get you thinking that the white man, the devil, is against you. So you get all worked up, start giving your dollars, you follow them faithfully, just like a lot of people do in church. And now he's brought up on charges by that same devil. By the same devil. Now, now if this dude had all of this power, don't you think that he would probably resist the devil, man? He would have authority over the devil, right? He showed no fear when he was out there preaching, right? And his followers showed no fear, but that's your right. Freedom of speech. They let you say what you say. They're listening to what you're saying. And you got some spies that's going to come along, black or white, and they're going to take your picture. They're going to record you. And they already got you down there, probably on a wall somewhere, watching you, waiting for you to mess up. Just waiting for the time to get you, right? And you have you ignorant blacks out there that's follow these clowns, right? Okay. Has preached that a black Jesus will return to earth to enslave and kill white people. The Southern Poverty Law Center has previously cited his comments in classifying the church as a black nationalist hate group. Both men were arrested Wednesday on a grand jury indictment charging them with conspiring to defraud the United States, and Grant with additional 5 charges of personal income tax evasion. Now, he's going away for a long time. See, they waited for Dr. York. They got Dr. York. They got other so-called religious leaders, right? This is what the white man did. You guys were preaching, but you have no power now to stop this. While leading the church between 2007 and 2016, prosecutors allege Grant and Washington, a Teaneck resident and treasurer for the church, used Black Icon Entertainment, a phony company. Right? See, y'all talk about Brother Polite scammed you, and Brother Polite, he do what he do. Okay, I somewhat have respect for Polite, man, because I can't hate on the brother because he can only do what you guys allow him to do. So now he's traveling the world. He's living in California. He's driving his nice cars, and he's showing you guys now, after he finished talking about the churches, talking about speaking against God, the Most High, speaking against the Bible, shooting the Bible up, right? Got y'all worked up and saying, yeah, and you on his side and railing, and you sending dollars out. There's people that gave up their house to for some books that he was selling, some type of papers and whatnot. And now y'all crying, talk about, he scammed you. That it ain't his fault, it's your fault. So now he and his wives and his daughter, man, is living lavishly off your money. And you still sitting back crying about he scammed you. You might as well just forget about that because you gave it to him. See, when you had people like myself that made videos and that talked about it and that tried to warn you guys against it, and you guys instead came against me, and those that even say, oh, because you jealous, even said I was jealous. Said I was jealous, man. And now you guys are crying, talking about he scammed you. Now you jealous of me because he ain't scammed me because I knew better. See, my eyes are open. I see, right? And see, you guys didn't, I tried to warn you guys with these scams, and you guys just did not want to listen. Whenever you got somebody that feel they need to bash a religion to promote their own, something's wrong with that picture. And I'm going to find that video and put it on the bottom here along with this article here. You guys can read it for yourself, man. But it says, while leading the church between 2007 and 2016, prosecutors allege Grant and Warrington, a Teaneck resident and treasurer of the church, used Black Icon Entertainment, a phony company reliant most entirely on church funds, to siphon off more than $2.4 million from the organization. Grant of Burlington Township himself spent another $2.9 million of church funds on personal expenses that include the van. Now, Sarnetta at one time was talking about a van, and his whole beef with Polite is because of the fact that Polite had exceeded him And I think Polite really blew up, man, when they did that little thing in Washington, man, and he was on C-SPAN, I believe. And after he was on C-SPAN, that's when Polite seemed to blow up there now. And Sarnetta now, because he's jealous, he's envious. He's envy of Polite. So because he's envy of Polite, now he's mad at Polite, and he wanted Polite to buy him a van. He wanted Polite to give him some money to buy a van. Polite didn't give him money to buy a van, and Polite went to Beverly Hills. Sarnetta now is upset and mad, and now they no longer friends, So he put him out there as a scam and saying he knew he was scamming and all this other nonsense that Sarnetta is speaking against Polite, and it's all out of envy and jealousy. It's out of hate, man, because of the fact that he didn't get his news van, right? He didn't get his news van. So I ain't mad at Polite, man. I have a certain level of respect for Polite, man, because you can't hate the player of the game, man. Hate the game. See, you guys allowed yourself to be played, man. Polite played you. Tazadaqyah played you. All of these little groups is telling you to leave the church, come out the church. These Christians, and they follow the white man's religion, and you followed them in the name of blackness, and they took your money, and now they living high on the hog, and you still struggling. You guys are still struggling, getting killed by police, and these guys took your money, and now either your pride is stopping you from going back to church, man. Either it's pride or the fact that you can't go back to the church because you're so far gone now. But you left the church, and you was bashing the church and the preachers, and now the same people that you left the church for are scamming you. And they scamming you big time, right? So Grant of Burlington Township himself spent another $2.5 million of church funds on personal expenses that included the van, trips, and school tuition. See, their kids get to go to private schools. Yours got to stay in the hood and deal with the nonsense in public schools, but they kids get to go to school. But they talked about the preachers and the pimps in the pulpit and how they pimped, the women in churches and how they slept with the women. But look at what they're doing. In addition to luxury items, real estate that you guys don't even live in. You gave your money, but you don't even live in their real estate. And a chauffeured luxury car service to take his kids to school. Prosecutors said. The U.S. Attorney's Office said none of the $5.3 million of income was reported by either man to IRS. The arrest comes almost 2 years after DNA Info report FBI agents had raided the group's headquarters in Harlem. I remember that. As part of an investigation into its bookkeeping. The church and Grant made headlines 5 years ago when they filed a lawsuit against a Connecticut toy company claiming action figures of Grant the church had ordered were made with pointed figures and lightened skin. Grant and Warrington were expected to make their initial appearances in U.S. District Court Wednesday afternoon in Newark. Grant's attorney, Gerald Lefcourt, did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Excuse me. Gotta take a swig. Reached by email, Warrington attorneys Richard Levitt declined to comment. Now, I'm going to put the link to this article on the bottom. You guys can check it out for yourself. But, hey, listen, I tried to warn y'all, man. I tried to warn you, and I had even said that a lot of these, they're just waiting. You can get out there and preach now. You got some brothers out there that preach, and I like to hear them, I like to hear them preach, man. But these dudes ain't poor, man. You think about it. These guys are traveling different places. They got crowds, man, that's giving their money, right? Somebody is funding this, okay? They're coming up with a whole lot of money, and it's tax-free. They thought it was tax-free. Because they talk about the church and the 50C3 and all this other nonsense and all this and then here it is now. They caught up in mess because they weren't following the rules. So I'm going to put the article on the bottom, and I'm going to try to find a video and also post that if I find it. Feedback and tell me what you think. So all I can say to when I read stuff like this is, Ooh, I knew it was coming. Until next time, I'm fearless.